it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a viewer request, and that is to go over the 7-day no contact challenge that we describe here on the channel. And before we get started on that, I really want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel, particularly our wonderful viewers we have in Finland and the Netherlands. Thank you so much for your recent contribution and donation to the channel. It means so much to me. It helps to keep the channel alive and to bring the content flowing. Thank you so much for your generosity. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I want to also really zoom in and dive in. And of course, yes, you all can make a donation if you wish to the channel. It's on the home button right here at the Peace and Harmony channel. And I want to zoom in and focus in a little bit more in depth by viewer request, and that is the 7-day no contact challenge. What do we mean by the 7-day no contact challenge? That means absolutely that. Challenging yourself to rid and clear your environment, your body, your mindset from the deleterious effects of this malignant, narcissistic, or sociopathic person. To put your foot down, to say no, to draw the line firm, and to be committed. And oftentimes, as people say, this is easier said than done. So it's the goal of the channel to provide you tools and results that you can implement to make this happen. Oftentimes people say, I've tried to go gray rock, that doesn't make any difference. What I want you to understand is that you have to go no contact. If you are still in a relationship or in proximity to this person, you have to work with them. They are living in your home. They are your family member. You must protect yourself energetically from this person by going no contact. So no contact means no eye contact, no hand contact, no voice contact, no physical contact. It means not having their number in your phone. It means not having their pictures in your photo library. It means not keeping gifts around from them, because these are oftentimes designed and planted as tools for them to stay connected to you. And if they can keep connected to you psychologically, they will always have that pull on your subconscious, which we call subconscious priming. You need to clear this out. You need to get rid of clothing in your closet. You need to get rid of the drinks, that you used to have, the food that you used to have with them. If you have had, I've had people say that they were so emotionally manipulated that they started smoking. They adopted whole areas of their personality. They became the motorcycle girl, the motorcycle guy while with these people. They took them on trips. They basically created a whole new identity while with this person that was in adaptation or according to satisfying this person. Buying, all sorts of clothing. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get it out. Get it out of your home, get it out of your garage, get it out of your drawers, because this is what's going to constantly keep your subconscious primed to being with them. And as I recommend, it's oftentimes very positive to keep at least a reminder of what this caused you to do. So some people, it might have caused them to really, go crazy, disrupt their schedule, disrupt their sleep, constantly texting them, sending them pictures, sending them money, whatever it is, taking them out, or, being betrayed, putting yourself in a position where you're constantly being betrayed. And if you keep, one article of clothing or shoes or something that reminds you of the hurt that it caused you, the devastation that it caused you, just as a little reminder, then I definitely recommend that, because it'll remind you of how deceived and decepted you were, how overwhelmed you were, and what it caused you to do, and really to the brink, or really the edge, the cliff that it drove you to. And make your commitment and your promise 100%. It's a commitment, as if you were on the altar to be married, and pray, giving yourself over to this person. It is not going to happen. I want you to make a commitment to give yourself over to yourself and have that 100% commitment to go no contact. And it means to not look them in the eye. If you have to be in proximity with them, it means that you don't look at them in the eye. If you have a court date, if you have children and you have to be around them physically, do not look them in the eye. Look them in the top of the head, look at their shoulder, look past them. Even if it's a blank space and you feel odd or uncomfortable, great, you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. You need to disengage from them energetically because they have, and each case of you is different. This might be your parent, this might be your boss, this might be your lover, this might be your fiance, this might be your spouse, this might be your child. And all of you have different situations with which you have to draw the line. And you need to be very, very decisive and cut it off immediately. It is horrific. And if you're in the terror, if this is very difficult, we understand, we get it. We understand this is not your usual Joe who just, cheated on you. This is not your typical Sally, who just wanted to have a good time. This is someone who deceived, manipulated, and had a calculated and deliberate method of hurting you. And so we get that here. We understand this is malignant. This is pathological in nature. And yes, these people are interspecies predators, so you need to go no contact. And I'm using a serious tone right now because it is that serious. It is a very grave situation to be in. And, perhaps you had fallen into a momentary lapse of judgment, trusting, loving, giving yourself to this person. You were in this euphoria, this bliss, this excitement, whatever it is you want to call it. That was a toxic no. That was a toxic, cliff moment for you. And it is leading nowhere. And even though you thought it was leading somewhere, there may have been talk with, you going places, being married to this person, having kids, la-di-da-di. Well, la-di-da-da, bye-bye. I mean, you need to literally la-di-da-di, bye-bye, wipe your hands of it, go and, literally go to the faucet, scrub your hands, scrub your body, get them out of your system. You need to cleanse them from what they've done and realize that there was nothing that you could have done to really prevent this. You were targeted. You were sussed out. You were scoped out. This person had preyed upon you because you had something golden that they wanted. It could be the fact that you were a feeling sentient person and they see that you're good and you see the good in all. And the psychopath or malignant narcissist will take you for that because they will begin to able to learn a lot about human nature by studying empathic people. These people study others and mimic their behaviors, and so they can kind of learn and gather that, and they will basically exploit you in your weak spots and become, that answer to your prayers. Excuse me. I had a sneeze there. There we go. Okay. So going no contact. I have also some viewers who, are living with these people, and, you might need an exit strategy. You might need to look for another job. You might need to look for a family member to live with. You might need to take radical action. Radical action meaning like, yes, I need to do this. I am not accepting this anymore. I am disgusted. You need to have this sense of urgency to protect yourself, and the affirmations need to be repeated over and over and over again to kind of recalculate and re-energize and really sort of get back into congruence your mindset, your focus, and just to get back that sanity. So, going no contact, you might need to reinvigorate this challenge if you sense that you're being hovered again, and how do you resist it? Going no contact basically means not answering the phone calls, not going there for, holidays, birthdays. I usually do this, I usually do this for them. I usually do that. No more. Zero, zip, nada. Do not engage in any sort of contact energetically with them. Get them out of your system. And, even if it's being alone and you feel isolated, at least you're not going back into that lie. Don't even put a toe in it because it's nothing but an illusion. And oftentimes it's terrifying for people to see, but they don't feel anything. They don't, they're not going to mourn your loss the way that you're going to mourn their loss. It's just, they need to keep supply around to keep an image, to keep a facade, and they have an insatiable need to control others. And they basically will continue to target others. So it's not that you had a weakness. They're going to do unto others what they have done unto you. So let them go. And if they, you can't teach them a lesson. You can't, oftentimes it's very difficult. You might say, well, I need to stand up to them. And, you don't get, you can't get away with this from me. You might need to have a big outburst, but, you might need to expose them and see them, see it for what it is. And, if you need to get a lot of rage out, then get the rage out, in your car. You might need to yell at your house. You might need to go for a walk and do some yelling and get it out of your system. Because it can become very, very frustrating, I think, for people once they've had this betrayal. So get it out of your system, go no contact, cleanse your environment of them, and begin to, take some time, write and work on the recovery journal, as we say, writing out the statements, I am safe, I am safe. Begin to, use, if you need that calming, affirmation, begin to repeat the I am safe, and kind of get those new energetic vibrations, because the energy follows the vocalization. Write it out, 1,000 times. And I'm not joking. I am serious. These are methods and tools that work. And if you repeat it again and again, your mind will also begin to remember that you took care of yourself in that moment. So not only is it good for the present, it's good for the future when you're feeling like you're going to be recovered again and you need proof or validation to say no, to not go there, to not give in to the hovering or, whatever it is that they're trying to suss you back in. And any attention with them is positive. So if you're yelling at them, you're still, they're still seeing that they have control over you. And, they're not hurt if you're angry. They don't hurt if you're screaming. They don't hurt if you're going crazy. They don't have empathy. If anything, they watch you like a movie. And, these are the type of people who can watch very dangerous car wrecks, etc. And they don't have a reaction. They don't have an emotional connection to humanity the way that most people do. They don't have a lot of the abstract values. Like, they don't really connect with things like love, freedom, liberty, grace, gratitude. They don't really experience these. So the way that you experience things is not the same. So there's not going to be kind of like, a closure. And I would recommend that you don't do things that you're going to regret later. I've had clients, egging things and scratching things or trying to destroy their property. If you need to have like a burst of yelling for them, without, but just don't give them that power. You just need to shut it down. And your going no contact is the best way, because, a lot of people say, well, how do you frighten these people? How do you teach them a lesson? These people don't learn. So get that desire out of yourself to, want to teach them a lesson. The main thing, exposing them is the main thing you can do. Once you've exposed them and you found out that this person is leading a double, a triple life, that they have, they're married here, they're living there, they're vacationing here, you found out these things, exposing them is the number one thing. So if you have exposed them, they, oftentimes they don't want to, the mask to fall. They don't want the mask to slip in front of people. So if that slips, you have all you need to know. You have the basic healing kryptonite right there. You do not need to go back to it. You don't need to see it again. You don't need to discuss it. If you are playing with fire, you're going to get burned. And that is all I can give to you for that. You need to not listen to them. You need to use pattern interrupt if you have to engage with them. If you have to talk to them, give a response, which is opposing or a pattern interrupt, or ask them a question. If you have to engage, or get a mediator, get somebody else who can do the interfacing, who is not involved, like a lawyer or a mediator, a social worker, somebody who can do the interaction to protect you, because you need to really be outside of it, and you need to have a clean cut break. And you owe this to yourself. You deserve to have a clean cut, and you deserve better. You deserve to have the real thing. You deserve to be treated with love, honesty, care, and devotion. And you owe that to yourself. And if you give that to yourself, then you will receive that. So remember that for the future, so you don't continue to attract this type of perpetrator or violator into your life. So it's very important that you really do the healing in that beginning and go no contact, and have the level of commitment and clarity, and use the tools that we describe here: the recovery date, the recovery journal, the I want section, the I've been procrastinating section, the mentor section, the I want to do, be, have, and become section, the recovery date where you're taking your healed self out and beginning to get a new vision of re-socializing yourself, resensitizing yourself with your senses, and growing your life from that perspective. And and because that's what your personal growth is it's expansiveness. It's more is not more with them. If you're gonna continue, it's not going to give you the foundation of true growth. Don't swallow that anymore. Begin to really clear yourself of that. Some people even need to move. Some people need to move their house. They need to leave that house. They need to move communities. They might be stalked temporarily, but then you get the police involved. Start surrounding yourself with other people. Listen to videos like this. Do some writing. Connect with support groups. Look for meetup.com, where you can find others who are supportive in other ways. Maybe you need to join a support group at your local hospital, or a meetup group on meetup.com in your area that relates to this, or at least a hearing spiritual side of yourself, and develop a spiritual practice now. Whether it's going to a church, whether it's focusing on meditation or healing activities. You might need to go to your primary care physician. You might need some medication. You might need to get some basic blood work done. You might need to take care of yourself. It might be years that you're in a relationship with this person, and you are way behind on your life. You're way behind on your goals, and you're way behind on your dreams now that this has occurred. So you might need to take care of yourself. You do need to take care of yourself. You can take care of yourself. You are worth taking care of. So begin to take action steps now in the positive direction. Recalibrate, as I say, and get out a new blueprint, a new map, if you will, for your life, where you're no longer going that direction, you're going that direction. And you're now developing and cultivating a whole new sense of self-protection, saying no, developing boundaries, realizing what boundary violations are, and realizing that you want to re-socialize and connect with others from a whole different level versus the type of relationship and all that was involved in that from this previous violator or perpetrator. And do this for 7 days. Do this and work this for 7 days, and then count the next 7 days and see how many hover attempts that you can resist, and give yourself and be proud of yourself for going no contact. Be proud of yourself for saying no. Hold your head up high and know that you're doing the best. And not only will that person most often say, "Oh, I didn't get that one," they'll know that you knew better, that you had identified and exposed them for who and what they were. It is peace and harmony with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.